Welcome to Impact OC, the only program showcasing the people and organizations shaping Orange County. With your host, Don Camber.
Hello, live from the OC Talk Radio studios at UCI's Beal Applied Innovation Center. I'm OC Talk Radio Public Affairs Director Don Camber with another great guest positively impacting our community. Today, I welcome High Hopes Head Injury Program Director and Instructor Mark Desmond. He started the one-of-the-kind nonprofit charitable organization in 1975 that's dedicated to the rehabilitation and retraining of people who have been devastated by traumatic head injuries. He'll talk about his program and one of its major fundraisers, the 26th Annual Eric Marienthal and Friends Concert on Sunday, July 13th at the Hyatt Regency Newport. Thank you, Mark, for being on Impact OC.
Well, thank you, Don, and thank you, Orange County, for the opportunity to be here this beautiful day.
Mark, please explain how traumatic brain injuries occur.
Oh, they occur every 8 to 9 seconds. People have falls, car accidents, motorcycle accidents, skateboard accidents, electric bicycle accidents, and on and on and on. So there's the new statistics that the government came out more recently said there's 2,800,000 brain injuries, traumatic brain injuries in the United States each year. That's about 3 times as many people that have strokes.
So how do you rehabilitate the brain?
Well, you rehabilitate the entire person, and that includes the brain. After a traumatic brain injury, they're usually affected memory, concentration. You know, you are who you are depending on how you think. So everybody's different, and each process is different for each person.
Now, the people that come to your nonprofit, what types of injuries do they suffer? Traumatic brain injuries, but how?
How do they have these injuries? An example is someone's climbing a ladder and they fall, or walking across a street and hit by a car or motorcycle. We've had people with hand gliding accident. I even had one from New York a few years ago that first time skydiving. Parachute pull. Nope. Parachute pull. It flared. Third one pull, and he actually survived.
So tell us some stories about how you're able to help these people.
I am very fortunate at High Hopes. We've helped thousands of people over the last 50 years recover their lives. And from that process, I created a unique program that helps each individual. And how I do is I assess that person. And I have a great staff. And what we do is develop a individualized program for each person. It depends a lot on where they're at the moment. And we put them through the process, which includes physical programs, cognitive, speech, and on, depending on what they need. The difference between us two is we have no time limit. We'll do whatever necessary. It's like training for the Olympics. And I've been fortunate to coach Olympians over the years, and it's the same thing. It takes a lot of dedication and work, but we're able to get results because we're able to dedicate that time to help them.
So when people come to you, they're really coming seeking to try to get way better in their brain.
Usually when people come seek us, either they heard about us or everyone else has given up on them. For instance, I have a physician that just started walking a few weeks ago, and the medical care was done with him. And they said, well, that's all we can do for you. That's where we take over and start turning things around for him.
So you have the 26th Annual Eric Marienthal and Friends Concert on Sunday, July 13th at the Hyatt Regency Newport. Share with us what's going to occur there.
It's our annual event featuring Eric Marienthal and special guests. We're so fortunate that the music industry has supported us over the years. We've had people like Brian Culberson, Peter White, Rick Braun, Lou Rawls, Johnny Mathis, Jeff Lober, David Benoit, Dave Cause, and others from the music industry come out and support us. We've had the Righteous Brothers in the audience, so we've had all sorts of people. We even had entertainers come out of the audience and come up stage. Lou Rawls walked up in the middle once and sang. So you never know who else not only see these people, but you never know who will be sitting next to you at our concert at the Hyatt Regency Newport Beach. And it happens once a year, and it's on July 13th this year.
Give us the schedule.
We have a VIP party, which includes dinner with our entertainers and the Orange County celebrities. We have entertainment there. Then we go to the main stage where by the way, Eric's, of course, at the VIP party. And we go to the main stage. And then there we have a live auction, silent auction, and hors d'oeuvres. And it's just such a great event. People keep coming year after year. And we're so happy to be able to put that on for everybody. So it's a great event. And it's on July 13th, and you can buy tickets at any time at highhopes.ws.
And the vibe there.
The vibe is you're there for a good cause. And High Hopes is where miracles happen, and you get to see people around you that have recovered their lives and have a life where the world kind of gave up on them. The world doesn't really care, but we do. It's pretty amazing. The concerts are amazing. The people come out, the celebrities, the entertainers. It's just a great, unique event.
Can you talk us through what it's like for a person when they suffer a traumatic brain injury and the family member goes to you and says, please help? Can you talk us through what goes on from there?
Yeah, I could talk about just one, for instance, just started recently. The mother brought her son in. He was, he did, actually was in the music industry. He did the sound for a lot of the bands you all go watch all over the country. And he had a few too many drinks, walked up to his apartment, didn't have his keys, so he decided to jump over to his balcony. He didn't make it. He started High Hopes, and we've been able to help him enough that his mother's crying and thanking God that she's at High Hopes, and her son is doing things he couldn't do just a few days before.
So explain what physical therapy they go through.
We have the most advanced robotics in the world that helps, but it's more than that. It's really more about doing the right thing at the right moment, and we don't give up on anybody at High Hopes. It takes a lot of work, a lot of beliefs, and a lot of determination by everybody in the team. But for some reason, people just, an example, him, for instance, he just loves to come. He just doesn't love life too well right now, but he loves coming to High Hopes. He loves the fact that he's able to see that he has hope. And that's why we're called High Hopes, is because these people have no hope. And, I've been doing it for 50 years, and every day I see something that kind of awes me, and that's why I do it.
So it's basically trying to get the brain to work with the body, and then they also do speech therapy. Can you kind of go a little bit in depth as to what goes on?
Yeah, we are a whole person, and we address the whole person. Brain injury affects the entire body, both physically and cognitively and perceptually, and everybody's different. So, for instance, we're communicating now. A brain injured person may only pick up certain words of what we're saying and come up with a whole different meaning in their own mind of what that is. So everybody's different. Memory issues, Might be mostly physical balance issues, an ability to stand, and also the prognosis for all this, including our stroke patients, our MS people, is that the prognosis is not good. So we also create an environment. Hey, here you see John over here. He's walking all over the place. He was like you 2 years before. So that's it. So I develop an individual program for each person, and I have great staff. Most of my staffs worked for me for 30 years, 25 years. So they keep coming. They keep putting up with me. They keep coming back each day and put up with what we're doing. It is a not an easy job. It's you get to see the best in human beings and the worst in human beings, and we're very fortunate to see a lot of great stuff.
So you take a scan of the brain to know where they are in their brain somehow?
Well, we do. There is scanning that's used for cognitive retraining and evaluations and all that process. Yes, we do evaluate and then create a program. Someone may. It's also the perception of the individual. So you may have a brain injury, but you may think the only problem you have is you can't stand up or you don't have a balance problem. Cognitive issues are different. Your interpretation. You look in the mirror and you see a physical problem. You can't really run away from it. But a brain injury, you can mask it. You can, say, oh, yeah, I can do this. I can do that until you try reading or try doing math skills or whatever it is. And you find out, well, I used to be able to do it. So it's a little spoon-fed
at
a time.
So they know what's going on, and with that, they'll help them try to get over that.
Again, everybody's different.
Right.
Some people, some people you have to push, some people you have to pull, some people you have to just direct, some people you just throw your arm around them and you're all both going the same direction. So that's it. Some people, depending on their background before their injury, it also depends too is what their outlook is, and a lot of limits, unfortunately, is brought up by the world, not necessarily what the human being can do. Human beings have much more potential than everybody gives them credit for ever. So there you go. I hope that answers your question.
What are the age ranges of people that you work with?
We're adult program, 17 and a half, 18 and up. Our average age is probably 25 to 35. I have people that are older. Brain injuries happen to people of all ages. And even if you're injured, let's say 16 years old, by the time you get out of the hospital and they save your life, that's the number one reason. The goal of the hospital is save a life. You go from there. The fatality rate is still about 50%.
50%?
Yeah, that don't make it from brain injuries. So.
Even after they may go through your program?
No, it's more at the initial stages.
At the hospital.
But, life brings all sorts of things. If you lay around a lot and you're not... and depending on your living situation, pneumonia, all sorts of issues can occur. We just went through COVID, right? So there's a lot of different things, a lot of different factors involved.
How are you funded?
Donations, grants. We do charge fees, but most everybody's on scholarships, what they can afford. We do have some regional center clients. We do have, all figure it out, all different ways. We're, as a charity, more interested, quite frankly, than showing up consistently. Like the coach, I can't help them unless they show up consistently. If they show up consistently, all things are possible.
What's consistent?
Showing up every day.
Is that what they have to do? They need to come every day. What's the commitment that you require?
At the beginning, it's usually a couple days a week because of fatigue factor or medical issues or what have you. Then after that, it's 4 days a week, and we train pretty hard. And And basically, they're working on things 7 days a week. If you want to make the Olympic team, you're not going to make the Olympic team by doing it 2 days a week and just thinking about it. You got to get to work.
So how many hours a day will a person who has a brain injury?
Where they're 8 to 2, 8 to 3, but it's much more than that. It's following through at home. It's the support system you have. If you don't have the support system, then it just takes longer. If you have a good support system, the support system doesn't always make. You mean by a support system, they might be getting you up and getting you going, not just allow you just to lay there or watch television or whatever it is.
Talk us through an example of a person who's experienced a brain injury. We'll just throw one out, an electric bike injury. An electric bike, because I'm sure you see people who have had electric bikes.
Sure. Again, it depends on the severity and where they're at. Are they medically stable, right? So first of all, it's saving the life of the individual. And just because they think they're out of the woods, they may not always be out of the woods. Because they're more susceptible, or they have an immune system issue, or what have you. And then getting them up, getting them going. First thing you have an operation in the hospital, first thing you do, they want you to get up right away, because your body starts fighting all those things when you're mobile. We're designed, we're born to move. We're not born to sit. And then I put them on a program, which includes physical programs, cognitive retraining, speech, and again, it depends on the individual. Someone might be needing a massive amount of physical work, and that's where we start.
Well, physical we could picture, because it's working with the muscles and that kind of thing.
Right, and it's something they can visualize, they can't deny.
Okay, so it's cognitive retraining.
Then it's cognitive retraining, and that's evaluations. So they're evaluated, and they might have visual issues, might have hearing issues, and usually they do, and memory issues, and problem solving. An example is when you walk up to a curb, you know to look left or look right for traffic, ongoing traffic. But a brain injured person may have to relearn all those things. You don't have safety skills. You don't, perceptually, you may have a whole different perception, and you usually have a different perception of what you were before. Example is I had one student who was an engineer. We call them students versus patients, clients. And it was an engineer. At the end of the day, the last thing in the world, they wanted to be an engineer. They wanted to go to special ed, help people. So I had another young lady, brain injury. She had no art ability prior to brain injury. Afterwards, she became an artist, and she pursued art, and she wasn't, because of what occurred and the effect of her injury, she wasn't interested. She's a different person. That's why the divorce rate's probably about 98%. Although we have a number of families right now that their husbands or wives are right there with them and helping them and supporting them.
It's because the traumatic injury that they suffered harmed part of the brain that impacts them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, the personalities.
And you're trying to fix that part of the brain through the different therapies, correct?
Correct. And people change through life anyway, right? Interests and all those things. So brain injury is kind of a very accelerant to those things. So, for instance, they were talkative before. They might be even more talkative after brain injury, or they may not have the ability to speak at all, and relearning how to speak again.
How long does it take for a typical person to kind of regain their skills?
Well, first of all, it's everybody's different, but it's not a light switch. You learn overcompensating skills, but it's something you have to work on the rest of your life. In other words, you have to stay with as you improve and you get that ability. There was a movie out a long time ago where the fella took a pill and he he was special ed, and then he became, very smart and very capable in his life. And then at the end of the movie, he started regressing. Brain injury is a lot like that in a sense. You have to always keep up with things. Otherwise, the brain damage is still there. You learn overcompensating skills. You have scar tissue, but you got to keep working on it to some extent.
So again, you have this event on July 13th, the 26th annual Eric Marienthal and Friends concert at the Hyatt Regency Newport. Share with us again what's going to occur there.
It's going to be a great event, July 13th at the beautiful Hyatt Regency Newport Beach, featuring Eric Marienthal and special guests. We'll be able to announce a few of our guests later on, but right now we can't because of contractual information. But we've had some of the greatest people in the music industry with us, and we hope that you all come out and be part of it and support this special event. Great food, great entertainment, auction, live auction, silent auction, and a lot of smiling people having a wonderful time at the beautiful Hyatt Regency Newport Beach. And you can get tickets anytime at highhopes.ws, or you give us a call for more information at 949-733-0044.
Thank you, High Hopes Head Injury Program Director and Instructor Mark Desmond, for being on Impact OC. The 26th annual Eric Marienthal and Friends concert is scheduled for Sunday, July 13th at the Hyatt Regency Newport. Thank you for tuning in. I'm OC Talk Radio Public Affairs Director Dawn Camber. Have an impactful day.
You've been listening to Impact OC, the only program showcasing the people and organizations shaping our community. Right here on Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio.